It's time for the US to put its footprint back on Greenland. Those are the words of Donald Trump's special envoy to Greenland, Jeppe Landry, to the news agency AFP this evening. Governor Landry also suggested that President Trump is talking about increasing national security operations and repopulating military bases on the Arctic island. He made the comments during his first visit to the island since his appointment in December. He'd previously said the visit was aimed at building ties and making friends. The trip comes amid a continuing diplomatic dispute sparked by the US president's previous threat to seize the island. Prime Minister Jens Frederik Nielsen reiterated that his country is not for sale. Earlier, Governor Landry appeared at the Future Greenland business event, to which organisers say he was not invited. Here he is giving reporters a geography lesson.
I found that Greenland was not on the map until Donald Trump put it on the map. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you something. When's the last time that any high-level diplomats came to Greenland, whether it's from Europe or not, before Donald Trump?
But that says more about you.
No. That's not, no. That's a question that Greenlanders should ask themselves. Who cares more about Greenlanders than the Trump administration and the president? Because seemingly before the president, no one cared.
Well, Jeppe Kofod is a former Danish foreign minister. He's now a CEO of the Kofod Global Consultancy and joins us from Kyiv. Welcome to DW. Let's start with that claim from Jeppe Landry that before Donald Trump made a fuss, nobody cared about Greenland. Is that true?
No, it's not true at all. I mean, when I was foreign minister, for example, I brought the then Secretary of State, Tony Blinken, to Greenland back in 2021 in May to visit there. So I think that was a pretty high-level visit to have a U.S. Secretary of State and also with the Greenlandic government and me as foreign minister. So no, it's not true. There's been a lot of engagement and interest from the U.S. side in Greenland and from other side, because Greenland is very important for Arctic security and it's very important for North America. So it's not actually true.
OK. And this is a very odd way of conducting diplomacy. My understanding is Jeppe Landry just turned up uninvited to this Future Greenland Economic Forum and presumably without the knowledge of the Danish and Icelandic authorities. So what do you think he's actually doing?
Well, this is a business conference which takes place every second year. This year it has a lot of course, attendance, and it's for everybody to come and take part in business relationship with Greenland. And Greenland is open for business, very important to emphasize, also with the U.S. So in that, with that background, it's good that there are U.S. interest in Greenland, but of course, it's still a mystery why Mr. Landry went to Greenland. What was the exact purpose of the visit? He is President Trump's special envoy for Greenland, but what was the purpose? He was not invited for any speeches or any public appearance. So it's still a mystery when he left, what was actually the whole idea behind this visit.
Come on, let me press you on this. You've been at this game quite some time. What's he up to?
Well, I mean, he was explicitly about, he wants to go to Greenland, listen, But
that's what he said. I know, we all know what he said.
Yeah.
What's he doing? What do you think he's up to? What's his game?
The game is that they know this threat to Greenland and Denmark doesn't work. I mean, not only Greenland, Denmark, but the whole of Europe reacted to this threat to taking over Greenland in a hostile way and so on. So now it's about listening and trying to build relationship with Greenlandic society, people, businesses, showing, in a way, humility to come and listen and take part in important events in Greenland. So that's part of a bigger game. But I think the problem here, frankly speaking, is back in January, there was a high-level working group put down by Vice President Pence, Marco Rubio, and of course the delegation from Greenland and Denmark. That high-level working group is working to resolve the issue as we speak. And suddenly there is this a new invention of Mr. Landry going to Greenland. So it doesn't make sense. If there was a real diplomatic effort, why should he go and make this mysterious visit? I think the reason behind is that, U.S. or President Trump has not given up on this idea of taking Greenland one way or the other. I think we have to be realistic here. Yeah.
Okay. We non-Danes and non-Greenlanders, we all thought this issue was done, dusted, settled. Are you surprised that the United States doesn't seem to share that view?
Well, no, I mean, listen, President Trump, in his first period as president, in the second term also, he has, stated many times that he thinks that Greenland is important for U.S. security and therefore he needs to take Greenland. So I think we can expect this issue to come back, even if there is a diplomatic effort with the high-level working group, even according to my information, they're doing real progress. I think you never know what Trump will do next. So it's an ongoing uncertainty. That will stay with us, I think, as long as President Trump is the United States president.
I like the idea of ongoing uncertainty. Is there a plan somewhere in Nuuk or in Copenhagen outlining the response if masses of US troops do suddenly turn up and say, this is all ours now?
Then everything stops. This will be the breakdown of the transatlantic alliance. You cannot have one NATO country and a close ally to take territory of another state by force. That will be unprecedented, of course. So I don't think this is really realistic. But
well, you say that this is the president of the unprecedented. So I find it hard to believe that there isn't a plan in a drawer somewhere.
No, I think the plan for the Kingdom of Denmark is to show military presence, with forces on the ground, with naval, of course, which is there, with air force, and that effort is taking place as we speak. There's also the Arctic Sentry, the NATO operation in the high north. So there will be a lot of activities going on, all to show that, this is a NATO area, this is the Kingdom of Denmark, Greenland, and no border should be changed by the use of force. And therefore, I think it's very theoretical and unlikely that it will ever come to reality, I have to say.
Yeah, tell that to Venezuela and Cuba. This working group that was set up in January, it had representatives from Denmark, Greenland and the US. You say it's making progress. Donald Trump appears not to think it's making enough progress. What progress is it making? What has it achieved?
Well, nothing really publicly has come out yet to be confirmed, but there's been this press reports, I can refer to them, about the military part, saying that U.S. will reopen some of the bases in Greenland, which will be in line with the defense agreement from 1951 between U.S. and Kingdom of Denmark. So that will be very uncontroversial, I think. And then, of course, there is a whole economic aspect to this agreement, U.S. investment in critical raw materials and in business and trade with Greenland. And I think that's also another issue that has probably close to be resolved. But I think the problem right now, frankly speaking, is that Denmark is lacking a government because there's been an general election back in March this year. And in Denmark, there's still no new government in place. They're still negotiating the parties after the election. Mm-hmm. So as long as there's no new government in Denmark, there's not a mandate politically to, let's say, to strike a deal with the US.
Also, sort of an open door for anyone with a massive military to just sort of walk in. The US already has a major military presence at the Putifik space base. What happens if Washington suddenly decides that space base needs thousands more troops there?
Well, Putifik space base is key to U.S. security. It has always been. It's part of the also missile defense system. It's part of detecting what goes on in the Arctic region. Again, I would say it's pretty uncontroversial. If US want to deploy more troops, more assets, more technology there, it will be something that Greenland and Denmark will welcome. I mean, listen, we all understand we live in a new age of geopolitics. We see Russia, of course, as aggressive power, huge Arctic power, threatening our security in Europe and also reopening bases in the Arctic region that was closed after the end of the Cold War. We see, of course, China, global influence and so on. So I think it's very natural that US is scaling up its efforts in Greenland and in Arctic, including Pituffik Space Base.
Thank you so much for giving us your time. Jeppe Kofod from Kofod Global.
Thank you.